where I'm talking about the stars. I'm talking about the stars with random people from all over the world that have found me through random ways. And good Lord, am I so grateful for this. I have only been encouraged to keep going more lately. Um, the confidence I have is from my own sheer convictions and what I do, the people that I am so grateful, so grateful to read for, the clients that I have, the friendships that have come out of client relationships. It's just so much to be grateful for. And now we have this new moon chart to look at for the upcoming new moon. This will be on Thursday. So if you guys want to learn about the new moon, I happen to have written a book called The Astrology of 2025 with three other amazing authors that happen to specialize in so many different things that there's a whole book that you can learn about all the things they specialize in. The first thing I wanted to talk about, though, was this new moon being at 28 degrees Scorpio. I may or may not have talked about this degree earlier this week when I saw a picture of a giant woman reaching down and looking at a tiny little fairy circle. And this is fitting mostly because 28 degrees Scorpio is the king of the fairies approaching his domain. I love this degree. I also love the following degree, which is 29 degrees Scorpio, an Indian woman pleading to the chief for the lives of her children. This is like the ultimate defender of children degree, the 29 degrees Scorpio. So I want to take a minute and just reflect on the Sapien symbols and how important they are with these lunations, right? I have been working with the Sapien symbols for 6 years now. I have been focusing solely on the Sapien symbols for 3 years now. Where I mean solely because like when I do my readings and stuff, I will dive into the Sapien symbols because they're so important in reading someone's chart. And it can be a little bit like, what the hell? So I include an Astro Gold report as well as a detailed Sapien symbol report for the whole approach to your astrology chart because it's not just Saturn is in sixth house, and that's what this means here. And that's what the Astro Gold report will do. It'll give you the basics, it'll share all the things that you need to know about your chart. And then I get to cover the fun stuff. The fun stuff like the degrees, the magic within. So 28 degrees Scorpio, the king of the fairies approaching his domain. 29 degrees Scorpio, an Indian woman pleading to the chief for the lives of her children. And then 30 degrees Scorpio, children in Halloween costumes indulging in various pranks. This new moon will be bringing out defenders of children. It will be bringing out the people that are in power that have been abusing their power, probably against children or innocent communities. Because when you see children represented in astrology, we think about the third house, Gemini, the twins and children, childhood, as well as the fourth house with family, all that. And then the fifth house, which is literal giving birth to children and childlike joy with the fifth house in Leo. So Gemini, Cancer, and Leo is the area of your chart if you're looking at children, right? Or if you're looking to find things with children. However, when you're talking about the protection of children, like and also these symbols were written in 1925. So an Indian woman pleading to the chief for the lives of her children probably sounds incredibly politically incorrect, and I'm sorry if that was offensive for you all. It's simply what's written here and how the symbols were written. So Native American would be the proper term. So a Native American woman pleading to the chief for the lives of her children. That way you can kind of see it as like, yes, it's this really scary degree. It's this really scary thing of having to plead for the lives of her children. But it's also this mama bear and like very drastic, very anoretic type of degree. I wrote this about the new moon coming up. Speaking of spooky season, this new moon in the depths of Scorpio takes us out of the final degrees of Scorpio season with a roller coaster of emotions. The ethereal king of the fairies to the tormented woman pleading to the carefree children in Halloween costumes. This is a loaded new moon of blessings, breaking curses, and paving new jovial unexpected situations. Or excuse me, Paving new jovial beginnings. Use your diplomatic prowess to face any pain or unexpected situations that arise. Facing trauma of the past or the pain of the anarchic degree of Scorpio can be released through root chakra healing work. Once you free your hips and move your energy around, you'll feel lighthearted and at play again. There's a whole ritual by the amazing Alessia from Life Through Spirit that talks about how to open up your hips, do it in a place where you can feel safe. Hip work is going to be huge with this new moon, as well as releasing your inhibitions. I know, feel the rain on your skin. It's a very cliche term, but by releasing parts of yourself that you feel shame around, parts of yourself that you feel aren't serving you anymore, parts of you that you haven't really owned up to. If you have placements around this new moon, which shout out to, I forgot to give a birthday shout out because I didn't know if I could, because it was one of my friend's birthdays. And sometimes people are like, yeah, share my birthday. It's no big deal. Other people are like, don't tell anyone when I was born. But special shout out to my 29-degree Mercury friend Celeste, who watches each and every one of these streams, because you get a whole ass new moon on your Mercury for spooky season, Scorpio season, your season. So I hope it's an amazing one. That moon, sun, and Mercury conjunction all at 28 degrees Scorpio. I'm like, where can I think I can move myself over a little bit, and that way you guys can see the chart better. There we go. Look at that. This is in Kansas City, Kansas, geographic center of the geographic center of the United States is technically McPherson, Kansas, but I went ahead and put Kansas City, Kansas, so you guys can have what I will be experiencing this new moon. Part of fortune on the ascendant. Love this. This is also on my anniversary, which I'm very much looking forward to. I'm also getting laser hair removal that day, so I'm also looking forward to that. Very beautiful, synchronicities of all sorts, but I think this is really fun to see as the South Node part of fortune conjunction on the ascendant for the new moon. Yes, it is at 12:46 a.m. I add the 30 seconds in there, or else the minutes don't line up on AstroGold. Look, I want it to be exact for you guys, so I try any trick of the trade to make sure that I get the exact chart. So not only are we going to have the moon, new moon, sun, and Mercury conjunction and Mercury retrograde, we're also going to have Uranus retrograde in Taurus opposite this new moon. There will be revelations. There will be exposure. There will be people pleading for their livelihoods with this new moon. Will it be the way that we think? Who knows? With all this Epstein and Trump shit going on, Deepak Chopra's in it for some reason. All these people that were associated with Oprah in the 90s and early 2000s, not looking good for you, fam. Dr. Phil, one of the most insensitive bastards you'll ever meet. He claims to be from Texas, but he went to Shawnee Mission North, which is here in Kansas City. Not sure where that awful fucking accent came from. Dr. Oz being a total shill. Like, so many people that were affiliated with Oprah might have shitty past and shady past, to put it mildly. And all that's getting exposed soon. Like, if you want to know when things are really going to hit the fan, wait till the North Node gets at 8 degrees Pisces. 8 degrees Pisces is the whistleblower degree in the Sabian symbols. It is represented by a girl blowing a bugle. It is like having the 8th trumpet. Okay, I know that there's 7 trumpets of Revelations, but 8 degrees Pisces is the 8th trumpet. Okay, so if we're looking towards the future, if we're looking towards things, that way we're going to be seeing a lot of people being revealed. Like, I got made fun of by these infamous astrologers for saying things like Neptune and Pisces in the last degrees of Pisces are going to be clearing the debris and taking out the trash. I mean it. There are a lot of people, including in the spiritual community, that have been abusing power, manipulating others, and being overall clowns, right? It's not great. It doesn't look good for all of us who work with ethics and have strong moral codes of work. I mentioned before that like I have a standard. Like one of my examples of having standards is I don't work with people who have abandoned their children or who have like given up on their children. I work with people who have great relationships with their children, developing relationships with their children, strong relationships with their children. Like if you can't take care of the people that you brought into this earth, then I don't want to work with you, right? Like it's just plain and simple. Those are my rules. People are going to start developing stronger ethics, right? With Neptune and Saturn both going in to that 0 point of Aries, February 2026, we're going to see a huge shift. And that's at the end of this year. The true new year does not start until Aries season 2026 starts back up. So until then, we're going to be in the death degrees of Pisces with all these planets in the death degrees of Pisces. So very much a lot coming up. It's not to be alarming. This is simply to remind you that while we have the ability to rewrite our past and while we have the ability to own up to our actions of the past, we have to do it. And a lot of it is from our past behaviors. For example, a lot of my past behavior was working outside of the home. I was constantly gone. I was constantly traveling. I was constantly not here. I wasn't present when I was here. I would be working in my home office. I had my children, in daycare, as well as having help on the weekends to make sure that if I was gone or out of town, that someone would be here. And now I get to be fully present more than ever, right? And I think it's because of my having to work outside the home as a single mom and having to be out and about and making a name for myself that I'm like, how could you ever leave your kids and abandon them, right? How could you ever not want to spend time with them? Because that's all I wanted to do when I was gone. And when you look at parts of yourself that you don't like, I don't know, deep seated rage with this new moon in Scorpio, we are at the very tail end of those scorpionic degrees, but they can be beautiful. They are truly transformational. This energy will be trine the very last part of the year. So this is trine the 29 degree of Pisces, which is the last degree before you get to the 0 degree of Aries. So it's like that renewal point. And so we have all this energy, and this new moon is going to be trying all of that end of year energy. We can still make new beginnings. You can still put new projects into the world. Anyone telling you that you wasted your time and it's too late to launch something, you can launch anything, anytime, any place. During a retrograde, around a retrograde, during eclipse season. People who are afraid of eclipses, I get it. I was born during a solar eclipse, so I'm not really too, afraid of them. Do I get affected by them? Absolutely. No one is safe. You're always going to have parts of yourself that you might not like revealed to you, especially in Scorpio new moons. But this is a new start. This is a new start. Let me drink some water and really say that with my chest. This is a new start, and you all will have this start. Thursday, new moon. It's a great new moon as it's ruled by Mars, and Mars is going to be right over there at 11 degrees Sagittarius. This new moon has so many contributing factors. It is trine Saturn and Neptune in the North Node versus squaring, which is always nice. Excuse me. It's nice to have this energy because it's also, good Lord, it also happens to be, across from Uranus retrograde. Traveling right now in the United States is a mess. Between the government shutdowns and the lack of competent individuals in certain positions in the FAA or the flight regulations or piloting or stewardessing or attending, whatever you want to call it, traveling's a mess. And knowing that it's also Mercury retrograde while we're having this new moon, exact Mercury retrograde, just please plan ahead, prepare for delays, don't expect to get places right away, including traffic. Like, as you can tell, this new moon is going to be in the third house here in Kansas City, of this chart, and it's like very short distance travel. Don't be expecting too much. Then now is not the time to travel across the country to meet your long lost internet possible love. I would wait until Jupiter is in Leo and Mercury is well clear of this post shadow. So maybe like January, February, that can still be a pretty volatile time. We'll see. But like, I recommend everyone live their life as needed to. You can meet the love of your life during Mercury retrograde because it is people from the past coming back up. It could also mean past lives, right? Like I said in a tweet this week, I was like, as much as Mercury retrograde is bringing up people from the past, I only have like two people I want to hear from. One of them, I didn't know his real name for like years of our friendship until one day he told me, and I'm like, ew, I'm going to call you Thunderdome. Bye. And then one of them is one of my close friends from my teenage years that has a world famous family, and I understand the reason why she might not be available to yap with me all the time like we used to. But those are people I want to hear from. Like, so maybe with Mercury retrograde, put your intentions back into the world. Be like, this is who I want to hear from. These are people I do miss. Instead of constantly focusing on, what ex is going to contact me. I already said it. Not a damn soul in this universe that I have had access to that I wish to have access to continually. I'm good. Leave me alone. If I wanted to talk to you, I would be, right? But like sometimes I have these like moments where I'm like, oh yeah, I did kind of just delete all my social media, disappear from the public spotlight here in Kansas City, change my phone number I've had for decades, and then just kind of fade away. So maybe not everyone is going to be on that path, but maybe it's like, oh yeah, I guess I have kind of put up some boundaries in the last few years. So if you need to change your phone number, if you need to disappear from social media for a while, whatever it is you need to do, take your breaks when needed. You know, the world was never meant to be this informed. The world was never meant to be this connected. So everything that we do here and everything that we continue doing here is just an added bonus. So if you can keep up with the world and you are in journalism and you want to be fast paced everything, do it. If you want to be living in the woods off grid, do it. If you want to be a happy mix of vacationing in the woods off grid, but still being connected to all your media and devices, do it. There's no wrong way to live your life. There is only the way that is completely wrong, which is harming others or harming yourself. Don't do it. Focus on the way that you can move forward. Focus on the new path forward. New moons are the darkest part of the month. It's when we have this dark new clarity. If you work with Hecate at all, Hecate, however you want to pronounce her name, our editor with the Northern Magazine, Mariah, does an incredible job with working with guided meditations with the goddesses and has a book, The Guidebook to the Goddess, that you might want to check out around this new moon. So with all of that being said,